everyone, it's Kristen. So today we're going to be talking about Dazzler 28 or 26. Wow. We're not we're not at 28 yet. I don't know what I'm thinking. Um so the Startling secret of Dazzler's sister. Ooh, I wonder what that could be. I mean, they kind of give us a clue on the cover. I mean, this is a very dramatic cover. Like I really like how Dazzler looks in this cup on this cover, and it's just like I said, it's a very dramatic, very 80s cover, but I love it. Oh, and so the artist, Frank Springer, is back doing the pencils. Like I said, the other episode, I keep saying that. I mean issue. Don't mean episode, I mean issue. The last issue was a different artist, and I didn't like that artist style as much. They still, of course, did a good job, but it was more cartoony than Frank's style, which I really like Frank style. So what we see here, sorry, I totally skipped over it, is these three thugs are trying to rob the concert. They're talking to the manager, and they're like, "We want all the profits." And Dazzler sees them doing this, and so she kind of like tells the band, "Hey, keep playing, play louder." Runs off stage, basically plows into them on her roller skates and dazzles them. And unfortunately, she dazzles the manager too, but it can't be helped. And so then she comes out and says, slight delay, slight technical delay with, the equipment." And then she tells the manager, "I'm so sorry about having to like run into you like that. I was just, wanting to, save, you and the concert money from those thugs." And so now she's a hero, and Lois again is like, I don't feel well, Allie. And Allison again is like, "Oh, well, at least this time," she says, "well, oh, poor baby. What you need is someone to take care of you, and I will after the show, but I've got to go back on soon." So at least she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Poor baby." Because in the last one, last issue, she was like, "Oh, you just need some vitamins and you'll be fine." Like, it's nothing. Um, so she said, "Why don't you go get some fresh air? I think it'll do you some good." So Dazzler comes back out, and like the manager's like, "Yeah, Dazzler, she's awesome. She saved, the concert money tonight. Like she took care of these three thugs." And Dazzler's like, "Oh, I wish he hadn't gone that far with it." So Lois is out getting some fresh air, and they're calling him, this homeless person, a derelict, which is someone who is, down on their luck and, ragged in appearance and things like that. And so he confronts her, and she's like, "What do you want? Money?" And he's like, "No, I don't want money. I want a kiss." And so he tries to force himself on her, and all of a sudden Lois's hand starts glowing. The air around it starts turning black. It crackles, her hand's throbbing, and she touches him with her hand, and he like cries out in pain, and he says, "Oh, my heart," and he dies. Which, yeah, I was like, "Oh, okay, wow." So, I mean, she's been saying for many issues now, she's having headaches, she's fainting, and so it seems like, yeah, she's a mutant. And these are her powers. Even though it seems like she's in college, so she's like 18. So her mutant powers should have manifested earlier, but of course, if they had manifested earlier, then she and Dazzler probably wouldn't have connected. So anyway. This is what they're doing. So Dazzler's worried because Lois never came home. Um, well, Lois is freaking out because she just killed a guy, like not intentionally, not meaning to, but she still killed a guy. And so she finally goes home, and she's like, you know, "I'm not all right. I'll never be all right." And so she says, "Tonight I killed a man." And she's like, "Wait, what?" So she explains the whole situation, and she's like, "I'm not exaggerating." She's like, "I'm special, different, like you. I'm a mutant." And of course, when she knew that Allison was a mutant and had these cool powers, like and helped people, she thought that was awesome. But now that she's immune and doesn't have quite the powers that she wanted, she's like, this sucks. I don't want to be immune. I hate being immune. Being a mutant sucks. Which, because I thought about it, I thought, oh, it'd be cool to be immune, have powers, be special. But at the same time, you don't get to pick what your powers are or what your mutation is. So you could end up with something terrible. You could, be totally disfigured. You could end up with powers like her, like some kind of death touch, or like really destructive powers, or like you could radiate radiation or something, something bad, something really bad that you couldn't control. Or, or like with Rogue's powers, she couldn't control them for the longest time, and so she would absorb anyone she touched. And, she could never like touch people without her gloves on. Never kiss anyone without absorbing their powers, that sort of thing. So, like I said, I thought about, oh, it'd be so cool to be a mutant, but then you don't know what you're gonna get. You could, like I said, be totally disfigured. You could have like Eye Boy, his eyes all over all over his body. That would suck. I wouldn't like that. That would be too weird. Or you could be like Blob. Um, or you could be like Blob, Herman, who has like no skin. Like you could literally see all of his organs and stuff. Like, I mean, so like I said, yeah. So yeah. Of course, being an X-Men fan from when I was young, I thought, yeah, that'd be so cool to be immune. Like, I'd love that and to be special and stuff. Because, I mean, everyone wants to be special, honestly. But then, yeah, you don't get to pick your mutation, or so you could end up with something terrible. So, anyway, they're trying to figure out what to do. Because Dazzler's like, I've used my powers to stop a mugging before and in issue 6, and the crowd did not appreciate it. They called her a freak. And then she accidentally killed Claw and was put on trial for murder, with her powers. So, yeah. So she kind of understands her sister's dilemma. Like, what does she do? So she calls Ken for advice, and he's like, it's 4 in the morning. Why are you calling me? And she's like, I need some advice. Hypothetically, if this situation happened, what should I do? And he said, well, as a lawyer, of course gonna tell you you need to turn her. She needs to turn herself in. But as a, but with all that anti-mutant sentiment going on, I don't think I could, get a jury to sympathize with her, to be like, oh yeah, it was totally self-defense. She didn't mean to do it. So, yeah. So he's like, I'm afraid you'll have to, decide for yourselves what to do. But, basically he's saying this is what I would do. So they pack their bags and to leave. And we see Gyrick, who's like, oh, this because it has been on the news and now it's in the paper. It says a derelict death, a mystery. And Gyrick is like, oh, this has the stink of a mutant all over it. We need to bring out the mutant hunters. And his aide's like, but, Senator Kelly, shouldn't we consult the senator on this? And he's like, no, this is time sensitive. We need to do this now. We'll send a memo later. So they're on this bus headed out of town, and they kind of talk about stuff, like what to do. And Allison is like, you really should turn yourself in because I mean, it wasn't your fault really. It's, self-defense, but I mean, do you really want to like be on the run like this? And she's like, I just don't want to talk about it. And she's like, you have to talk about it. You have to face it. You have responsibilities now. You're different. You have to deal with this. She's like, maybe I can just hide forever. And Dazzler says, will your conscience really allow you to do that? So they go to this, of course, like roach infested motel. And yeah, oh, I'm sorry, but like most bugs, I don't care about, but roaches, oh my gosh. Like, okay, the other night, you know, I went to the bathroom in the middle of the night because sometimes that's what you have to do. And there was a roach crawling on the wall, and I freaked out. I was like, "Holy cow! Oh my gosh, that's huge!" And then it flew into my room, and I thought, "There's no way I can sleep knowing that thing is in my room." I mean, granted, there might be bugs in my room that I don't know about, but I knew about that bug, and there's no way I could sleep with that in there. So what I did was I got Dazzler, I woke her up and made her hunt the bug for me. Like made her hunt the roach. Like, you know, it took her an hour, but she finally found it and tracked it down. And so I was able to get rid of it because I'm like, you cannot be in my bedroom because I will not be able to sleep. I'll just be imagining you crawling all over me and just no, can't do it. So anyway, sorry, that's my little tie into roaches in this story. It just, I mean, can you blame me though? Gross, ew. Like a spider, I don't really care about spiders. They can be in my room. I don't care. But a roach, ew, they're so gross. I mean, ugh, gross. Yeah, no. So anyway, they go in this roach infested motel and they're like feeling really depressed and they're like, we should go see a movie. Like we should, just get out of here. Like do something to cheer ourselves up. And unfortunately though, people recognize Dazzler and they're like, oh my gosh, Dazzler, can I have your autograph? And she's like, oh, okay, I'll sign a couple. And then she's like, okay, last one. I need to go. And so what she does is she goes shopping for disguises. Like she buys clothes, she buys new makeup, she buys wigs because she's like, okay, well, people recognize me, so I need to, disguise myself. So Lois is, contemplating just her life now and just thinking Dazzler's been gone a long time. Oh my gosh, I hate this part. Like I forgot about this part. Like I hate this part. Oh, I love this cover, but now I hate this issue. So she hears scratching at the door and she's like, "Oh, a kitty. Hi, kitty." And you're like, "Oh, a kitty. I love kitties." And she's, playing with the cat and, you see the cat playing with her and the cat accidentally scratches her, which, you know, Dazzler has accidentally scratched me plenty of times. That's just what cats do. Um, And she's like, oh, bad kitty, you drew blood, you hurt me. And she freaks out and does her death touch thing on the cat. I mean, holy cow. Why? Why the cat? I mean, I'm one of those people that can watch the movie where people die. I'm like, okay, that's sad. Anyway, like that Loki meme from the TV series. Very sad. Yes, very sad. Anyway, but if an animal dies, I'm like, I cannot watch this again. Never, never again. Like John Wick. Nobody told me about that. Like I watched it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the worst movie ever. Yeah, I haven't watched that movie again since then because I know about that part and yeah, yeah. I watched the other ones, like two, three, four, but I can't watch that one because of that. So anyway, she kills the kitty, does the death touch thing on it. Because like I said, the kitty scratches her accidentally, draws blood, and she freaks out. She's like, blood, you drew blood. You hurt me. You hurt me. Like, see? She freaks out and then so she kills it. Not cool. So Dazzler goes to the front desk, pretends to be someone else, looking for Miss Blossom. That's how she checked herself in. And he's like, "Oh yeah, she's in this room. You can take the elevator to get there." And she's like, "Okay, good. My disguise worked." She goes back to the room and it's like, "Lois, what's wrong?" And Lois shows her the cat. And Dazzler like freaks out and she's like, "Oh my gosh, she's like, we need to leave. Let's pack up and we need to leave. We need to get out of here." And shortly after they leave, the mutant hunters have found them and they see the cat and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this cat, like it's Like it's deformed, it's disfigured. It looks like the body of the guy that was killed in the alley. So now they are on the run from the mutant hunters. Of course, they don't even know that the mutant hunters are after them. It says next fugitive, which makes sense because they're on the run. Oh, like I said, I forgot about that part. I hate that part. Not cool. Not cool, Marvel. Not cool. Yeah. So, obviously, the next issue will be about them being on the run, and I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, if, see if her sister ever turns herself in or they get caught by the mutant hunters or what happens. So, if you want to find out, join me for my next video. Until then, bye.